Hi, this is Kathy Quinn with Floriani. Floriani is a division of R&K Distributing, and I want to welcome you to this month's project of the month. This project is going to be an iPod accessory bag made out of pet screen, totally in the hoop. Now, of course, you can make this bag for a variety of things. Wait till you see how fun and easy it is to create, and then the sky's the limit. So let's go ahead and put our cursor on our Floriani icon on our desktop and double left mouse click to open up our Floriani program. As our Floriani program opens up, of course, the first thing we're going to see is my Floriani Today screen. And I want you to make note, today our April designs are available, and they are so cute this month. Remember, you need to download these by putting your cursor on the banner where it says Sweet April Designs Available. Put your left mouse cursor there and left mouse click. That will take you to the page where these designs are available. And then you can just left mouse click on the words April 2011 and go ahead and download your April designs. Those are just great. If I had seen those before I started this project, we could have used some of those. Now, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to come in here and get a new piece of paper. Open a new design screen by left mouse clicking on the piece of paper in the upper left hand corner. Now, we're going to set up our workspace today, and we're going to change the unit of measure a couple of times to help us get everything just precise. So the first thing I want you to do is put your cursor anywhere along the ruler bar, along the top or down the left hand side. By putting your cursor there and right mouse clicking, it allows us to set up our workspace. Now, the first thing is make sure you're in inches. If you are not, left mouse click on the word inches. Right mouse click on your ruler bar, and I want you to come down to the words grid settings by left mouse clicking. Now, we want to set this grid right now. We are going to set it at a ½ inch. Let's just set it at 1/4 inch, and that way we don't have to change it 2 or 3 times. 0.25 inches. Now, in here, make sure before you change either one of these numbers that your maintain aspect ratio box is selected. If it is not selected, then you would have to type in both numbers specifically. I just need to change one. I want them both to be 1/4 inch, so I've made sure my maintain aspect ratio box is checked, and I've typed in 0.25. Now I'm going to left mouse click on the word OK, and I now have a 1/4 inch grid system. I've got 4 boxes per inch. Now we are going to create the size of our bag. Now, of course, this does depend upon the limitations of your hoop. The bag we're going to create today, I'm making it 10.5 wide by 6.5 tall. If you have a hoop to accommodate that, great. If not, just make your bag smaller in finished size so it will fit in your hoop. I am going to come up and we are going to use, to start with, our artwork tool. You know that I use this tool all the time. This is one of my favorite tools Floriani has made. Let's left mouse click on the drop down arrow, and we are going to left mouse click on the word rectangle. With the rectangle stuck to my cursor, I'm going to hold down my left mouse key and I'm going to drag a box. Now I have an artwork box on my screen. It's as if I took a pen and drew that. Remember, this is not real. Now I want to set up some colors along the bottom for this because I want this to change colors with each action here back and forth, but I don't want to have to thread my machine with 75 different colors. So let's come down. Now along the bottom, you're going to notice you have got your default thread palette. If you have not brought in a design that holds its own colors, you are always going to see these in the bottom left hand corner. That is our default colors that we can work with to digitize with. Well, I want some different colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor on color number 1 and left mouse click. That's going to bring up my thread chart. Now in color number 1, the first thing I want in here is I want color 900. I happen to know that's black. Or you notice here on my color chart, I could have just clicked on this little black square right here and picked the color I wanted. So now with black selected, I'm going to say OK. Now I'm going to come to color number 2 and left mouse click. Now what I did on my machine is I did use a multi-needle machine. I used my 10 needle. So I actually threaded colors 1 and 2 both with black because I actually want all my stitching together of this bag to be in black. I want it to match the pet screen. But while I'm creating this project, I do need 2 separate colors, telling the machine it's 2 separate colors, or your machine it's a different color, because I want it to stop between steps. So I'm going to change color number 2 to something I'll see very well. So let's come in here, and I'm just talking about on the screen. Let's come in here and pick, let's pick some kind of turquoise. I've picked Indian Ocean 376. Now notice that time I didn't type a number in. I looked at the color swatches to see what I like. Oh, I like deep sea turquoise. So once I've selected one, I'm going to say OK. Now I have put 2 colors of my choice into my default colors. So with my box drawn, I want you to select it. We will select it by going to our upper left hand corner and left mouse clicking on our select tool. Notice that that has put boxes all around. That has put my control boxes. Now what I want to do with this right now is I want to change the size. So I'm going to come over into my properties box and I am going to transform this box. So left mouse click on transform. Now I do want you to notice that my maintain aspect ratio box is selected. Now I don't want it to maintain an aspect ratio. I want to define the width and the height, so I need to deselect that check mark out of that box. So now I know I want this to be 10.5 inches long. I want it to be 6.5 inches tall, high. And now I am going to left mouse click on the word apply, and now that has applied those sizes to my box. Now up at the top, kind of the first third of your toolbar, there is your zoom box. Right now it has the words 200% in them. I want you to left mouse click on that down arrow and tell it to fit. Now we have all of our box in front of us. The first thing we're going to do, and notice it's running perfectly along the 1/4 inch line, and that we want that because we want it to run perfect on the grid lines. And if yours by chance is not right on the grid line, if you will hold down your control key and use your arrows, you can actually nudge this till it's perfect, floating along grid lines. I want that on there because we're going to need to use these grid lines to put in our other lines, and it's much easier to use the grid system than to turn around and try and measure everything. Now that we have this, I need this box to become stitches. This is going to actually stitch a template down for us for placement. So I am going to, with my cursor anywhere in this box, I'm going to right mouse click. Now notice I've got up a menu. This is what I call right mouse clicking for treasure. I want you to come down to the words convert to, and we are going to select a run stitch. Left mouse click. Now that we have created a run stitch with this, I want you to come to your properties box over on your right hand side. Notice I've got stitch length. I've got some control here. I can tell it what type of run stitch I want. Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to change this to 3.5. We want a longer stitch. We're stitching on pet screen. We don't need that little bitty short stitch. So let's make it a little longer, 3.5, and left mouse click to apply that. So now I have a 3.5 running stitch. If you look down in your sequence view, down here at the bottom half, you can see it tells me I'm doing color 1, Floriani polyester black, but if I left mouse click on my plus sign, it tells me you've got a run stitch, Kathy. If I select my run stitch, it's going to tell me it's a standard at 3.5 millimeters. Now with this in here, we want to create a guideline for our zipper. Now the first thing my question is where is my stop? Because I don't want the thread jumping and cutting all over the screen. I want to do it the most efficient digitizing possible. So I'm going to come down to my third icon on my left hand toolbar. This is my shape tool, and I want to left mouse click on it. Now notice what it just did. I want you to see I've got blue boxes in the four corners. Those are control points. And I've got a red stop. But I'm going to tell you, if I scoot that stop over, I've got a green start as well. So we know that it's starting and stopping in the upper left-hand corner. Of course, that's where I started drawing from, so that makes sense. So now that I'm sure where it's going to stop, I'm now going to draw my next line. So I'm going to select my run stitch again. Now, of course, it's defaulted. It's a new run. I want to change the stitch length right away to 3.5. I'm going to apply that. And now I won't have to go back. I'll just keep 3.5 on my cursor. Now we are going to count down 4. I want to come down an inch from the top. So here's 1/4, half, 3/4, 1 inch. That's my 1 inch line. I am going to create a line across there to show me my zipper placement. So I'm going to, with my run stitch, I'm going to left mouse click right here on the edge, maybe just a hair outside. Now remember, always consider the width of your hoop when you're doing this. Left mouse click, I've dropped a blue box, a control handle. I want you to come straight across and go out the other side. Left mouse click. Now we have a beginning point and an end point. Now you may right mouse click to digitize the line. So now I've got a line. I'm going to come down another inch, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are going to be my placement guides. And I'm going to left mouse click, and notice I'm working down the right side. Why? Because I wanted the closest point of connect. I already know I ended at that end. So I'm going to come clear across here, and now I'm going to left mouse click again. I've got a beginning and an end point, right mouse click. So that's going to be, I've come down an inch. My zipper placement is an inch wide, and I want to go ahead and I'm going to come up half an inch, and I'm going to mark a line down the center of that zipper. So here we go. There we are. Left mouse click again, and right mouse click. So there is our zipper placement with the center. So what's going to happen is this is going to stitch out first. So the next thing we want to do is lay our zipper down. So our zipper is going to lay in this space, and you've got this center line to make sure your teeth run along the center line. And now we are going to stitch our zipper down. Now how I want to create that line is I want this to stop. So I'm going to get a new color, because we want this to all stitch out at one time, and then we want our machine to stop. So I'm going to go to color number 2, this turquoise that I set up, and I'm going to right mouse click to select it. And now I want to lay my zipper down, and now I'm going to go ahead and digitize this down. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to start in the center. And notice 0 is my center. And I'm going to stitch right on top of this line. We've placed it, we want our zipper to stitch down. Now what I will do to stitch this down is, you see this line? I'm right on top of it. I'm going to come up 1/4 of an inch. Because when this zipper stitches down, I want to make sure it has caught the edge of the zipper. So if I do it right here on top of this line, I might be just outside the edge of that zipper. So by having our 1/4 of an inch lines, it helps us. We're going to come up 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to start in the center. And here's how we're going to digitize. We're going to left mouse click. I'm going to come down to this end, left mouse click, and I'm going to come all the way back to the other side, left mouse click, and I'm going to end back in the center. Now what I have done is I've created a double run, or a 2-ply stitch. But what I've done is I've started in the center and gone out and then to the other side. That way I don't get a bubble or a hump in my zipper. Now that I've got all my control points in, let's right mouse click. We've digitized that line. Now let's come up. We're going to do the same thing on the other side of our zipper. So I'm going to start in the center, left mouse click at the end, come all the way back across, left mouse click, and stop again in the center. Right mouse click. Okay, now our zipper is stitched in place. Now we've got to add our first piece of fabric. We're going to do the bottom half first. We're going to take our pet screen, and we are now going to lay it down, and you will see in the construction portion, but we are going to make this pet screen wide enough that it can fold over this seam line so we don't ever see the edge of this zipper. It's going to be really nice. So you are going to lay your pet screen in here, and we need to stitch that down. So we are going to come back, and I want you to get your black again because we want the machine to stop. Now it's time to lay our fabric down. So let's right mouse click on color number 1 to change our color. And notice it gets a little black box around it so we know it's selected. So now we're going to come right here on top of our turquoise line, on top of where we've stitched our zipper down, and we are going to left mouse click, and we're going to do exactly the same process. Left mouse click, come all the way across, left mouse click, and come back to the center and close, left mouse click. Now we're going to right mouse click to finish it. So now I have laid my fabric down and I've stitched it down. Now we are going to pull that fabric and fold it down. Okay, I'm going to fold it down. It's going to be like folded just in half, and my raw edge is going to go along the bottom. So we want to kind of tack this down before we stitch it. So what I'm going to do is a nice little tack stitch. We are going to, with our stitch length still at 3.5, we have stitched this down. We are going to change colors because I want that machine to stop so I can fold that down real nice. So right mouse click on color number 2, and then I want you to come in here and we are going to tack it. Now come in an inch. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to left mouse click, left mouse click, and come down 1/4 of an inch because we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to tack down that corner. Right mouse click. Come here, an inch up, left, come to the corner left, come over 1 inch, and left. Now right mouse click to create that little tack down. Now somewhere around the center here, I'm just going to tack it down another inch. Left, left, right. And come back over to our other corner. Left mouse click, left, come up, left mouse click, and right mouse click, and again right up here at this one. 1, 2, 3, and right mouse click. Now I have tacked that down so it's not flopping around. So what I want to do now is I want to stitch this down. Now you will see in the video of the when we're putting it together that we're going to kind of give this a little bit of a bubble or a fold at the top, because I want it to come right up to those zipper teeth. I don't want it to be pulled down away from the zipper tape. I want it to go right up next to those teeth. So now that we've folded it over, I think we're going to stitch it down all the way. And you know what? We've got it stitched down, folded, and now we are going to go all the way around it. So what we finished right here. Again, I'm going to start in the center, over, down, across, up, and back over to the center. Right mouse click. So now we have stitched that bottom half down. We're going to do the same thing on the top half. We're going to lay our top fabric in. First thing we're going to do is create a tack down, and I'm going to put my cursor in the center on that line that we stitched our zipper down. But now we're going to tack our pet screen down. So I want you to change your color, because we wanted it to stop so we could now put that in. So come up to color number 1 and right mouse click on it. Come back up here, and I want you to left mouse click in the center, left, come clear over, and left. Right mouse click, and it's finished. It's tacked down. Now we are going to change the color, fold it over, only this time when we fold that, we're going to make sure that that fold goes ahead and actually covers the zipper. I don't want to have to see the zipper, so I'm putting kind of like a cover over it, so we'll reach in there and zip it, and you won't see the zipper on this back. But again, I want to tack down. So I'm going to tack down the corners. Again, come on an inch. And did we change color? That's my question. Let's see, we just did this one. Okay, so I need to change color to turquoise again. Right mouse click on turquoise, and let's tack this down. Again, we're going to come right along. Whoops. Undo is your best friend if you do something crazy like that. I want you to come right along this line. Left mouse click. Make sure you've got your unstitch selected. Left. Left. Oh. And we're just going to come ahead to the end here and over. That'll tack it just fine. Right mouse click. Do just a short one in the center here. Don't you just love it? Do a short one in the center here. And I want you to come and do the other end. Just a nice little tack down. If you make a mistake, like I clicked too soon, hit your backspace key and it erases your last node or your last control point. Left mouse click and left mouse click. Okay. Right mouse click. We've tacked that down. Now let's go ahead. It's been tacked, and stitch that down. And again, we're going to start in the center. Let's go ahead and go all the way around here. And we have right mouse click. We have now finished the construction of the bottom front, the top front, the zipper. Now we want to add in our design. and our name and whatever we want to put in the body here. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to use designs. We never really use our text designs. We don't realize how much is in there. So now you can design whatever you want. We're going to do a design together, but you can put anything you want in here. The nice thing about our text designs, and I'm sorry I didn't mention where I went, if I come up here, there is a book with an A on it. Those are my text designs at the upper right hand end of my toolbar. So I'm going to left mouse click and it brings me pictures. Now if you open yours up and you don't see your Angel alphabet, I'll tell you right now you forgot to install your support files off your original disk. Go back and do it. Now if I look through here, look at all the possibilities I have to add cute things to this with text. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking for a monkey that I like. I mean, not a monkey, this cow. I want this cow. So I'm going to left mouse click on him and he's going to show up on my screen. Now these are text embellishments. They can stand alone if you wish, or you can use them to embellish your lettering. That's what they were created for. So now I'm going to come up and I'm going to get my text tool, my giant A along the top toolbar. I'm going to left mouse click on it and notice there's an A stuck to my cursor. And you know what? I'm going to change the color. I want my text to be color number 9. It's the dark kind of pinkish that's around those hearts. You could make it brown, black, whatever you want. I'm going to right mouse click on color number 9 because that's the one I want to select, and now I'm going to left mouse click on screen. And I missed and picked number 1. Let's see, why didn't I get this 9? Come on, there we go. Alright. Now with that selected, I'm going to come in here and what I'm going to type in is iPod stuff. That's what I wanted to put on mine. Now I need to decide the size of my lettering. I think I'm going to make this an inch tall. And I can pick my font style. Now for this, I picked Arial. You could pick anything you want in here. Go through, but don't spend forever doing it. On my sample, I picked Arial. Another font I like is I like the Fun font. I like the freehand. There's several fonts. I'm going to apply this. Let's see if I like this one. Let's see if I like this font in here. Now I'm going to center this here. And remember, we've got our box basically so we can see. And what I want to do is I want to stretch this up so he kind of looks like he's leaning over it and grabbing it. Now I'm going to go ahead and change it to the Arial font because that's what I picked for our sample. I'm going to apply it to Arial, and there is my iPod stuff. Now I can move this lettering around till I like how it's centered here, till I feel like it looks the best. I've stretched it up because I want him to embrace it there with his little arms. And that's how I wanted to do my lettering here. Put that in. Now I've got my design to stitch out. So I've done my bag, my whole front of my bag's complete, and my design is going to stitch out. So we are going to now do one more line, because what I've got to do now is I'm going to need to lay the back of my case over this and stitch it down. So we have one more square to digitize. Now what I'm going to do is, using my wonderful sequence view, what's the first run we did? We did this whole, we did the outside, then we did the zipper line, and the center placement line on the zipper line. So really this first run stitch is my perfect size of my bag. So with that selected, I'm going to right mouse click on it. I want to copy it. I'm going to right mouse click on it. I'm going to paste it. And I am going to come in here. Look, now here is line number 1. Here is line number 2. It added it right in here. And how I could make sure, if I keep moving, watch. There's zipper placement, center line. This is my second square. So what I'm going to do with this is I now need to move it. I want it to be the last thing that stitches out. So grab it and just drag it down. You might have to wiggle it a little bit to get it to drag all the way to the bottom. But now that it's at the bottom, let go. So now you see the last thing that's going to stitch out is that run stitch. So we've moved it in our sequence view to the last item. So you can move things around in your sequence view. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we haven't made any mistakes here. Because sometimes switching colors back and forth, you miss one or you do something. So we want to look, first we want our bottom outline to stitch out. So we've got our template. The next thing we want is to stitch our zipper down. Perfect, top and bottom. Then we want to stitch our fabric down. Perfect. We want to tack and stitch the whole bottom half down. Perfect. Tack our first piece of fabric down along the zipper line. Fold it. Do the end of it. Now we've got our design. Perfect. And we come down and we've got our text and we are going to finish our bag. So you have finished your In the Hoop project. But there's one more thing we want to do. Well, first of all, we're going to save it. So let's say File, Save As, and I want you to put it where your folder, create your folder, however you want to do that. I'm going to put it in my Floriani. I'm going to go to my Floriani Designs, and I'm going to create a folder. So if you notice, I've got the little picture of a folder up here where it says Create New Folder. Left mouse click on it, and I'm going to call this my iPod bag, or my iPod stuff bag, whatever you want to call it. Make your folder. Now come in here and put my iPod bag, and I want you to first save it as C. Click on that iPod bag. I want you to save it as C2S. That's your working file. This is not stitches. This is a working file that we can play with anytime, and it won't corrupt. Now that I've got that, I want you to File, Save As again, only this time I want you to pick the format for your machine. So I'm going to pick PEZ version 5, so I don't have to pick a hoop type, and I'm going to save that. So now if I look in my design library, I can go to my Floriani, I can go to my iPod bag, and look, there's my C2S file and my PES file. There they both are. Now the last thing we're going to do is we want to create, I want to stitch on the back. If I'm going to put the back onto this, why shouldn't I have some design on the back of my bag as well? So what I did is go back to your sequence view, come up here and select, come to your last color that we've got selected when we just stitched down, and I want you to close every eye, or I want you to just right mouse click in your sequence view, and I want you to tell it to hide all. Everything disappeared. All your stuff's in your sequence view. And do you see the little eye right here? Your last color, color 1, Floriani black. There's a plus sign and there's a grayed out eyeball. I want you to left mouse click on that eye. And notice the only thing we can see is our Floriani polyester black. That's our last tack down stitch. So what I want to do with this is I want to right mouse click, copy, open a new piece of paper, right mouse click and paste. Now this gives me the window that I can put the design that I want on the back in. And what I put on mine is I just came in here and I put my name. We got lots of people at our house with lots of stuff, so my bag has my name on it. You could change the font. I'm going to leave it Arial simply because that's what I used on the front. I can put my name in here, center it in here where it looks good. Now, you could do anything. Go back to your iPod bag. Let's open the eyeball for our little hearts. That was color number 9, and I would imagine there's, okay, 9 and 14 are what fill in my hearts. What if I wanted to copy them as well? Let's right mouse click, copy, come back over to design 2, right mouse click, and whoops, right mouse click, hang on, I made something I did wrong. Right mouse click, right mouse click and copy. Back over here to my design 2, right mouse click. Why is it doing, oh, because I still have my lettering tool selected. Okay, right mouse click and paste. So there's my little hearts. Maybe I would like to take these hearts, and I notice I've got some little squiggle down here that I don't want. Let's ungroup them. Right mouse click on them and ungroup your hearts. We worked on that last week. Let's grab this squiggle, delete it. I don't know where I got it from. There we go. Now with these hearts, I could lasso a heart, and I could have done just one from the other page. Right mouse click on it. Now that I've selected that heart, let's right mouse click and duplicate. Now if I want lots of hearts or resize some of these hearts, how fun is that? Holding down my left mouse key, I'm just dragging my mouse to give me some extra hearts in here. So you can see how fun that would work. I'm going to come in here, I am going to lasso these and delete them. And now I just have some hearts sprinkled around that you could do. Now we're going to grab my lettering and I'm going to change it to match the darkest part of my heart, match the lettering on the front of my bag. And I could do anything with this lettering I want. If I wanted to curve it, shape it, play with it, now's the time to do it. I can play around with this, do anything I want. But you get the idea. You can have a good time with this part of your bag. Again, you could just put your name. Now we are going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to put iPod back, or bag back. Let's get more specific. iPod bag back, save it. Now I will tell you, when you stitch this out, make sure you go ahead and stitch this one in black like we have so it doesn't show up if you don't match perfect. Then File, Save As, and now save iPod back as your stitch out. And save. So now you will stitch this piece out first, then you'll create your bag, lay it on, and finish it. I hope you've enjoyed creating an in the hoop bag project with a covered zipper. The nice thing about this pet screen is it washes well, wears well, you can see through it, and think of the endless possibilities of gift bags you can do for grandkids, friends, makeup. It's a wonderful bag. I want to thank you for coming to this week's portion of Software Project of the Month.